Hello, Dragon Ball fans. Welcome to the King's Court. Okay, so the first DAIMA video did so well, so we're going to keep this train going. You want to keep seeing more DAIMA reviews? Don't forget to like the video so I know there's interest. So, enough of that intro, let's get to it. So, the video, really quick, just like I said in the first one, this is for people who have already seen the second episode of Dragon Ball DAIMA. If you haven't, leave this video, but come back, please. I need the views. I like saying that. But no, real. I'm gonna go into some spoiler territory, and there's always that person who clicks in the video and hasn't even seen it yet. So, if you haven't seen it, go check it out first. But if you have, all right, get comfy. Let's talk about this. So, the episode opened up the same way the first one ended. Shenron granted his wish to the new Demon Lord, Demon King. I forgot. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna take a little while for me to remember these new characters' names. But I'll always put the picture here just in case I forget the names. So, Shenron granted their wish, and now they've all been chibified. They're all tiny. So it's really interesting. Now, when this happened, we all knew this was happening because that's how the episode ended. But we all thought that he was going to ask for his next two wishes. One of them, we already know he's going to be asking for this extremely rare missing demon realm relic, the third eye or something. And apparently, Shenron can't do that. It looks like this is another new retcon for DAIMA. So, it looks like Shenron only grants 3 wishes to Earthlings, or people who live in the realm he's from. So, that's really interesting. I guess they wanted to avoid Shenron, because this is taking place after Majin Buu, so I suppose Dende, when he recreated Shenron during the Cell era, I guess they're retconning that as well and adding in. They want to avoid, any more Frieza nonsense. Because, don't forget, in Namek, the reason his people in Namek was destroyed to begin with was literally because Frieza was trying to get the Dragon Balls to become immortal. So, I guess he probably thought of that. So that's why there's this new retcon. And is it me, or does it seem like they're making Shenron more sassier lately? Ever since, I want to say, Battle of the Gods, they've been making him more sassy. Not as funny, though, as Porunga. Porunga, I think, is still the funniest. But anyways, so, apparently he can't ask for that wish, and whatever his third one was going to be. And, okay, looking back, I was really thinking to myself, can they keep just redoing this, power ritual thing that this new ancient Namekian Neva, I believe his name is, did to summon the Dragon Balls and keep basically refreshing them? But apparently he can't do it twice in a row, so I guess that makes sense. You gotta put a power cap somewhere, otherwise, literally, it's just gonna, start getting insane. So, instead, after wishing, they decided to take Dende with them. I guess this way so they could try to, use the Dragon Balls of Earth again. So, that's pretty much them. They're not seeing the rest of the episode after that. Speaking of, by the way, the third eye thing that was lost during apparently Deborah's father's reign, I think, now I could be wrong, but if you've seen the opening for DAIMA, I think, I'll put a picture of it if I can find it. We see Deborah in one scene, and I think this other demon that kind of looks like him might be his dad. So that could be a possibility. So we might see, if that isn't his dad, we'll definitely most likely be seeing whoever this character who looks like Deborah is down the line, which... Okay, am I the only one really hoping eventually we see Deborah in DAIMA? I cannot wait for them to show their reaction to how Deborah became at the end of Z. God, that'd be hilarious. But anyways, moving on. So after that, we rejoin our heroes at Trunks' birthday. So apparently, not only have they all been brought down to size, basically, all the ones who were already at a young age, aka Trunks, Dende, Goten, etc., and Marin, I believe, were all also turned to babies. But it's strange. Apparently, they can still somehow communicate. On some weird Rugrats thing. They can understand each other, but it looks like the rest of them can't. So that's really interesting. I wonder if down the road we'll have like an episode fully dedicated to like Goten and Trunks, because I feel like they wouldn't include this unless this is going to come up down the road. So we'll see what happens. So it's pretty funny. You go around the entire. It doesn't focus too long on characters like Yamcha and them, obviously, but down we see every one of them all brought down to size. Basically, the funniest one had to be Roshi being turned into a kid again. It's okay. First off, it's really weird seeing Roshi without the beard, but it looks like they also changed up his design as well, because if you've seen the original Dragon Ball, we've seen what Roshi looked like when he was younger, but this version of him looks a lot different. He doesn't have hair yet, so okay, that makes sense. But his skin tone's a lot different. Like he's a lot lighter. Well, that could just be a me thing, but so that's one thing. But that had to be the most hilarious part. Him flirting with like the workers at Trunks' party. It was kind of hard to watch, but it was also super funny. Speaking of another funny scene, I love how Vegeta still has his famous terrible widow's peak. Oh my god, I feel so bad for Vegeta, but it's also hilarious. And obviously, it's kind of also interesting that they were even also able to make Majin Buu small as well. So it looks like everyone is transformed, at least the ones who were involved with defeating Buu. So that's one part of that. So what makes it interesting, they're kind of doing like the same handicap they did in GT. If you haven't seen GT, basically Goku in his size wasn't able to perform certain techniques. One of them being the instant transmission, at least not until way later on in GT. But it looks like they're going with that because they're using some. I guess it actually makes sense. They're using like some kind of logic saying that because Goku's not used to his younger body, he can't properly move his body, so he can't fly at all. Well, at least not at all at first. And not only that, now apparently this is also another retcon. So Supreme Kai is originally from the demon realm. They give some, expository, background on. Apparently, not everyone with pointy ears is, related to the demon realm, but most of them are. At least the Namekians are. And this is also where we got some interesting bit of lore. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this was the first time ever, whether it's anime, manga, video games, anything, we have ever seen Mr. Popo without his turban. He has horns. I was not expecting that. So Mr. Popo has horns. That was really, really surprising to see. Was not expecting that. I'll put a picture, but wow, that was crazy. Did not think that was going to happen. So they explained that apparently Supreme Kai and his brother are from the demon realm originally, and apparently he came to this realm. So I guess in a way this isn't like the whole how in Super they explain there's 13 dimensions. So it looks like the demon realm is a completely different realm because you can't even use instant transmission to get there. So you have to use a special spaceship. So they apparently this whole time Supreme Kai had a spaceship that he traveled to this realm, I guess you could say, with. Not only that, apparently this spaceship was damaged during the original fight with Goku and Kid Buu. Now, again, I know take it for what it is, because I know continuity is always confusing with Dragon Ball, but basically for DAIMA's continuity, that completely rewrites a lot, because it's been a while since I've rewatched that fight, but if I remember, I don't remember seeing like any spaceships, so that's crazy to actually think about. I wonder what else, like little stuff they're going to be doing that retcons previous events in Dragon Ball Z for Daima. I wonder what else could be coming up with that. So basically the spaceship they needed to be able to get to the demon realm, but apparently it's so damaged and old that they need Bulma to fix it. So apparently Bulma is able to fix it, but oh man, okay. We're all used to, if you've seen Super and the Broly movie especially, Bulma basically using Beerus as a babysitter. And poor Kibito, he's basically become, because this is set place before Beerus and them would have been introduced, someone had to be Bulma's lackey. And poor Kibito, he's being forced to not only carry the ship, get Bulma, carry around her stuff, and even pick up their food. Like literally, as a delivery boy. I feel so bad for Kibito. Speaking of which, I think that's something else. A little now, since obviously Piccolo was one of the characters that was aged down, it looks like that officially they are going for the manga art color, like I talked about in the first video. But the only thing I think that is different now, it's been a while since I've read the Dragon Ball manga, but if I remember right, Capito in the manga was actually blue. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I think he was. I'll put a picture here. But in Daima, he's like a pinkish almost. And in the original DBZ anime, he was like red mostly. So that's really interesting. So just wanted to point that out. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much. But I just feel so bad for Kibito that I wanted to mention that. So, basically, not only that, we get a little more of some, I'm going to be honest, some fan service for Dragon Ball fans. Goku has to wait, they all have to wait about 10 days for Bulma to finish rebuilding the Supreme Kai spaceship to get to the Demon Realm. So, what does Goku do? He does what Goku does best. He starts training. And he's not used to his body's proportions. Like, his leg is too short to get it with, like, a high kick and all that. So, this makes sense. Because what he goes and does, he goes and gets back his famous, I'm going to be using the English names for these next parts because this is what I'm too used to. His legendary power pole. We have not seen the power pole in I don't know how long. Man, I don't think the power pole has been seen since the famous Till We Meet Again scene from the end of GT. I don't think the power pole has been at all even said where it is. So apparently, the power pole was Goku originally left it with Korn at his tower. So that's really interesting to think about. And they also brought Korn back, so I'm pretty cool with that. Although I'm a little bummed out Yajirobe wasn't there. Although we'll see what happens later on with that. So, but lo and behold, Korn doesn't have the power pole. Apparently Roshi had it, and when Goku goes to go see Roshi, the dude is basically checking himself out in the mirror, admiring his young body, and wearing a fancy suit. I'm a little worried at what he's gonna try to do. I'm gonna laugh if they do something like that. Like he's gonna try to flirt with girls or something, and then when they become their regular size again, he turns back to an old man and scares them off. I don't know. I just picture something comedic like that because stuff like that. There's always those comedic scenes in Dragon Ball, even when there are serious moments. So, don't forget the famous scene in Super where where Roshi almost died in Goku's hands. He literally says he was dreaming of spunky angel girl. So Roshi especially has always had those more comedic scenes during serious moments. I mean, look at the entire original Tenkaichi Budokai finals against Goku. That whole fight was not only serious but hilarious as well, especially his little funny dance number, if you remember that. So I'm expecting something like that down the line for Roshi. So he finally gets his power pole, but he was using it to hang up his laundry. Oh man, I just couldn't. I don't know. I'm getting a lot of laughs out of this. It's been a while since. I don't know. I liked Super, but sometimes the jokes just felt kind of flat. This almost feels like old school Dragon Ball. Because if you look at even Z as well had some funny moments, but old school Dragon Ball had some of the funniest gags in the in the entire series. Goku practically being grossed out when Bulma was trying to offer him Dragon Ball's a little more risque back then, and he was he was basically calling her a dirty butt. Oh man, it gave me those kind of vibes, so I was just enjoying the whole thing. Honestly, that's what I'm getting the vibe for with Daima. It's giving really strong old school Dragon Ball adventure vibes. So He gets the power pole to basically make up for the fact that his limbs are too short and to fix his range issues. And eventually he's able to start flying properly again. So that's, and then not only that, the new character is brought up. And apparently he was sent by a different Demon King. And speaking of Demon Kings, the one who originally made the wish who took Dende, it apparently is also a Majin. So this is making me wonder if he might have some kind of connection to Majin Buu. I mean, they're basically giving us information like characters like Popo. Now that he apparently has horns, the Namekians apparently being originally from the demon realm. Lots of information. Speaking of which, apparently the ancient Namekian Piccolo knew who he was, and I think this could confuse some people. I think this is because he was he's at this point, this is after Z, so already been fused with Kami, so most likely Kami knew about this person already. So I just wanted to put that out there. So the new character basically, but back to what I was talking about. The new character basically shows up and says that he was sent on a secret mission to get Goku. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. That's at least the major events right there. I mean, this is still only episode 2, so obviously there wasn't like a lot of stuff. There was a lot of information to get. Primarily, the biggest thing to take away from this, that new Namekian cannot redo that same power twice in a row. So basically, no infinite Shenron wish glitch. Makes sense. I mean, you gotta have that power cap somewhere. The power pole is back. Roshi, again, I swear it's getting up somewhere. And there's a lot more I could say, but honestly, these are just the main points of the episode. But there was a lot more, and if you want funny scenes, especially with Krillin, go check out the episode. You will not regret it. So far, I'm really enjoying Daima, and I think, honestly, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you're going to get strong, old-school Dragon Ball vibes off this. So this episode was pretty good, and I'm looking forward to the next ones. If you want to see more little tiny, I don't even really want to call it reviews or discussions. It's me fanboying at this point. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, so I know there's interest, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good week. Take care. Bye.